Today we're going to try McDonald's newest dipping sauces. We have sweet and spicy jam, which I'm personally more interested in, which they say is breakfast inspired, but we'll get into this. I wrote some things down. And we have Mambo sauce here, which is another interesting thing because apparently it's some kind of Washington, D.C. like tradition that takeout places do in Washington, D.C. that they dip a bunch of stuff in. But here we go. I wrote this stuff down because when I opened the McDonald's app, I was kind of interested by the way they were pushing these sauces, which was specifically with social media, with a bunch of people I've never heard of, which is fine. You know, that's how it goes these days. But they had a bunch of social media people, and underneath their quotes, where they were like, "This is the greatest thing I've ever eaten in my life," they had, "This person is a real fan with real opinions who's been paid to try our sauces and keep it real." That was the legal wording they used on their advertisements of people shilling their products. Was, "This is a real fan." This is verbatim. I mean, not verbatim. This is a quote, direct quote. "Real fan with real opinions who's been paid to try our sauces and keep it real," which really just kind of pissed me off. It's stupid. I mean, it's fine to do. I understand, you know, these companies work with social media people. That's just the status quo. That's the way it works these days. The thing is, you paid them first, which is not obvious to a lot of people, but that's just the way these, you know, most advertising things work. You know, you'll see on the bottom of the screen, like, paid for their opinions, blah, 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 on commercials and things like that. There's two ways you can go about it. There are people that you can pay ahead of time, and then you pay them and they come over to McDonald's HQ and they eat the sauces and they get a nice VIP experience and they get to meet all the McDonald's people and it's a nice exciting time for everybody. And then everybody leaves and says, "I love this sauce," because even if they didn't love the sauce, there's a kind of pressure to love the sauce. That's the way it's generally would work. And now this is just taken from the zeitgeist. I don't know this because I'm not some official reviewer, but from you know, general knowledge and common sense and what I understand, that's the way a lot of companies try to push things with influencers and things like that. You give them a little bit of money. You don't have to give them a lot of money. Just give them a little bit of money, or you pay for them to come out to whatever, McDonald's HQ. This is a hypothetical. Come out to McDonald's HQ and try out the new sauces. Let's say that's what happened here, because that's what I think happened, but again, it's hypothetical. So you pay these people to come out, you pay for their flight, you give them a little money, you pay for their rooms and per diems and whatever. You pay for some social media posts from them, and you don't tell them specifically that they have to like the sauce, but it's implied. Like, nobody who's coming to this event is probably going to say anything bad about the sauce because they're getting paid to be there. It's a kind of way to get around the review process, from what I understand. Like, back in the day, before influencer culture was kind of a thing, reviewers would also, like, they would pay for reviewers to take trips and stuff like that, like, and for movies and stuff like that, and video games and books and all that, or movie screenings and stuff. They pay for them to come to the screening and all that good stuff, blah, blah, blah. But it's supposed to be impartial is the whole point, and that the reviewer is a professional and they take that into account, or maybe they have separate, distinct, you know, they get paid by the company and not directly by McDonald's. So the McDonald's is paying the reviewer's boss, the reviewer's company, and the reviewer is separated, essentially. But they're not in this case. That's the whole influencer culture. There is no separation between the reviewer and the company they're reviewing, which lets them kind of manipulate things in their way. That's just the way the game is played. But I just really was turned off by that. Anyways, after that 4-minute diatribe, if anybody's still watching this review for the sauces, I'm going to start doing that. So, sweet and spicy jam, according to them, is red pepper sauce with Szechuan peppercorn and cayenne pepper, finished with apple cider vinegar, and is breakfast inspired. They recommend eating it with a McMuffin. And Mambo sauce, we have a DC classic sauce, which is tomato-based, sweet and spicy, with a tangy touch, a little bit vinegary, perhaps, and this is not them, but some other people said barbecue-esque, and they said to pair it with a crispy chicken. That's what they want you to pair it with, is a McCrispy. I'm not going to do that. I instead got McNuggets, and that's what I'm going to try these sauces with. And I'm specifically interested in this, and they specifically said in their marketing that this was one of the, like, they said it was the first breakfast-inspired fast food sauce or something like that, which didn't make sense to me. I don't think that's true, but they tried to make some kind of claim like that. But sweet and spicy jam, you know, they could nail this out of the park, or it could be terrible. It really depends on the ratio of sweet to spicy. Mambo sauce I've never had because I've never been to DC, so I have no idea, but I'm kind of curious. Anyways, we're going to try both with McNuggets just to keep it straight. This is the sweet spicy jam. Well, after spending that first 4 or so minutes basically, you know, shitting on McDonald's, I have to say I actually really like the sweet and spicy jam. This is a great sauce. It's an easy 5 out of 5 for me. I'm sorry, even though I just spent all that time talking about how they manipulate reviews, allegedly, hypothetically. In this case, it doesn't matter because I think the product is actually quite good. This sweet and spicy jam is excellent, and it's very reminiscent of the kind of recent trends of sweet chili crisp and chili crisp on things, and chili and jam just go together, and it's something that's been discovered, you know, it was discovered a long time ago, but it's been embraced in the last few years, and I think they really nailed it here. It's perhaps it starts out a little bit too sweet. I was a little bit worried it might be too sweet, but the spice is actually a backup. It's a back-end flavor. It takes a few seconds for it to hit you, and it's not very spicy at all. It's not as spicy as their buffalo sauce. It's less than that. It's a mild spice, but it's a nice spice. It's the Szechuan type of spice. It's peppery. It's peppercorn, so you get that sensation in your mouth of, you know, heavy pepper, which I really enjoy. So sweet and spicy jam. I'm sorry about all of the things I just said, McDonald's. Also, I will gladly be paid to do anything. So if anybody wants to pay me to do pretty much anything, I will do it for money. But sweet and spicy jam, 5 out of 5. Really love it. Now we're gonna try Mambo sauce, which I'm very curious about. So it seems like it's a kind of a ketchup-y, barbecue-y sauce that I guess they use on chicken wings and stuff in DC. That's just based on me Googling it for like 30 seconds. But I'm curious because they not only recommended this with a McCrispy, they also recommended it with a burger, with a quarter pounder. So we'll see how this pairing goes up. This is a little thicker than I would have thought too. I was not expecting a thick sauce. I figured it'd be kind of watery, but pretty thick. Here we go. Now this one I can safely talk crap about because I don't really like it, but I also don't hate it. I don't think it's bad necessarily. Some people might really like it. Interestingly, more spicy by a large margin than the sweet and spicy jam, by far. This sauce is actually, you know, it's not super spicy, but it's fairly spicy. The problem is it's the kind of spice I hate. It's that kind of generic hot heat. Now, this could be a problem with me, again, with spicy foods. People who are more used to spicy foods might be able to pick out the flavors a bit better here. But for me, the spice kind of overwhelms so much that it becomes more generic heat than flavor on this Mambo sauce. Otherwise, it kind of tastes weird. It almost tastes like a mix of sweet and sour and barbecue, or like a duck sauce and barbecue. It seems vaguely... Oh God, it's a little, you know, it's a little backthroaty, even though it's not. Again, it's not that spicy. It's just me, you know, my nature. But it's a little bit almost. It has kind of completely lost myself. A duck saucy flavor, kind of like an Asian flavor, like that you'd want to dip things in. Not necessarily McNuggets, which is the interesting part about this. I could see this working on a burger, maybe. But I really feel like you're kind of missing the best of both worlds here because it's a little bit too spicy and not quite as ketchup-y and barbecue-y as you'd want. I feel like if you're going to go for this Mambo sauce, you'd want a spicy barbecue instead, or maybe just mix a barbecue with something else. I just don't know if everything quite works together here. But it is an interesting sauce, and I'm sorry if anybody is from DC and is mad at me. I don't know if this actually represents the sauce. I would assume not. Because it's McDonald's, but Mambo sauce, not a fan. Sweet and spicy jam, though, that's my jam. So I'll give Mambo sauce a 3 out of 5 because I think it's okay. I think somebody might like it, but it's just a little bit too spicy and kind of sweet vinegary to me. But sweet and spicy jam, easy 5 out of 5. I recommend it to anybody. Try it if you get some McNuggets. I don't know, put it on other stuff if you want to, but for me, this might be my new go-to McNugget sauce. So Sweet and spicy jam, check it out. I'm gonna eat the rest of these nuggets while my nose runs and my eyes water, because Mambo was surprisingly spicy, but not that spicy. Again, just try it. And I'll see you all next time.